Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Simply Colorful Fibercast. Today's date is September 6th, 2019. My name is Lynn Marquidant, and I am your host. Yet again, we are filming from our little cell phone on YouTube. So join the fun, grab your project, and let's sew together. I'm going to put you right on the tripod, and then I will run around and show you what we're working on. With luck, that will be in the right place. That looks good, I think. Hi, everyone. Today, well, I hope you've had a good week. I want to bring you up to date on my week here in the Simply Colorful studio here in Hopkinton. I had a great beginning of the week. I made progress on my t-shirt quilt. I have it all together, and I used filler fabric from Kaffe, very bright, and I'm very pleased with it. I'm just waiting for Minky to come from fabric.com, and then I hope to have it quilted by next week. Also, so that was a great win. Later in the week, however, I'm a little bit more challenged, but I'm still using these luscious Kaffe fabrics, and oh, of course I cut it off, but from the studios there of Kaffe, and then Brandon, and then Jacobs, and I'm new to all of the people and the names, but I'm really enjoying the bright colors. And what I'm doing here in collaboration with Studio on the Hill over in Holliston is I am making pot holders. So this one is a mitt, and then this one is just one that you'd hold like that. Kind of slips out of your hand. I actually have some smaller ones that I think might work really well on your hand. Anyway, I will tell you all about that, how there are 5 layers here in each one of these, and how putting on the trim is much harder than I expected, but we're going to keep on giving it a whirl tonight. So grab your project and let's see what we can create together. And as always, send me pictures of what you're working on so I can share it with others. It's lynn@simplycolorful.com. And before I go any further, I am in the machine quilting business, long arm machine quilting. I have a gamel here in my home. It's a pet-free environment. It's a smoke-free environment. So that is my bread and butter. And if anyone has any quilts that you would like quilted, now's the time to get them in, because as we know, I haven't counted, but I think there are under 20 weekends left between now and Christmas and the holidays and Hanukkah and all of that. So if that helps get everyone motivated, please do. Send me your quilt tops. And also, all of my patrons, I'm giving you complimentary batting for being a patron. I couldn't do this without you. And for anyone who has done a Simply Colorful mystery quilt, you also get complimentary batting from here at Simply Colorful. So let's get sewing. Isn't that fun? Now, let me tell you about what is in between these. I went to Joann Fabrics and I looked up online, and so it's all about interfacing, right? We have a certain type of interfacing for our t-shirt quilts, and then we have a heat-resistant type of batting with metal on it for these. I don't know if you can see that. See the reflection? It's the metal on one side. It's basically called Insole Fleece, High Loft Sew-In Fleece, and it's from Pellon number 975. So it's polyester fibers which are needle punched into a sheet of aluminized polyethylene that helps to reflect heat or cold back to its source. It's soft and comfortable to use in clothing as well as home decor, and it does say down here for pot holders. And what it said was, literally, to make easy pot holders, make a sandwich of fabric, cotton batting, so that's 2, then the Pellon fleece, 975, another layer of cotton batting, that's 4, and then your backing, that's 5 layers. And I put them all through the machine today, and let's make let's make a mitt, and then we'll go from there, and I'll show you some of the other colors that we have. Let's see. So, oh, and I've been playing with my feet of my Bernina. If anyone has any questions or, again, pictures of what you're working on, oh, send them to me, Lynn at simplycolorful.com. Okay, so I have the outsides. What I'm going to do is sew down here about 3 inches, and then I'm going to open it up and put my binding on, so I don't have to do the binding in the round. And for this one, I've been using my jeans foot. Sorry guys, I know this is good pod, right? As I'm leaning over this way to find my feet. I've got my 10D that I'll use when I work on that. Where is... Okay. 10D. Ay, ay, ay. We lost our power here. Oh, and before I go any further, for anyone who has been in the path of Hurricane Dorian, yikes. I hope you're safe. I can't get over the pictures we're seeing out of Bermuda. And then I know the Outer Banks were hit hard. I know my mother, who is down toward the Cape, they're anticipating some high winds, it looked like, and some rain. And how come I'm not finding this? 20C. Okay, bear with me. We're going to have to look for this. Too much going on around here. Huh. 9741 48D. Could it be any closer? Okay, my little Bernina box. I know Susan out there has, I've just about run out of space for my feet, and I know she did, and she got herself a nice little kit there. I think at Michael's. Okay, so 8D. It has the dual feed, so we pop that down in the back. I'm just using Aurifil gray. Ideally, I would have a darker blue, but the gray works for all of these. And I need to make sure to change my foot here to 8D. Okay. And then I go to my little, I don't even know what it's called, but it tells me what to do when I'm sewing through 10 layers here with this foot. It actually changes my tension. It expands my stitch length. So the denser, and I'm just turning my machine on, that's why it makes that noise. 3.5 is the width of these stitches. Okay. And it's so thick, I'm just going to use this rather than the auto cutter. So now I have that opened. Now what I'm going to do is, and the inside is always going to be rough because this will all get matted down with a few uses. And I have to remember that these are going to get stained and greasy and used, so it's okay if they're not perfect, although I would like to have them look nice. I'm taking out the basting, even though I probably don't have to. Okay. Hey, look at that. I made this very big. The one I did here was only 2 inches, folded in half and then folded over. And it's good, but it's not great. I think I made this a little too big though. So I'm gonna put that aside. And I am going to trim this to 2 1/4. If you can see this, my Martelli mat here. So everyone is back to work and back to the swing of things. Whew, I felt it this week, did you? It's good. Summer vacation is always good, but so is getting back to some of the work of life. Oh, should have turned that on. So what I do is just like a quilt binding. I've been folding it in half. And then I'm just going to, keeping my foot on the 8D. Oh, I know what I need to do. I need to make the loop. This will do a loop for many pot holders. There's a great site I found called pomegranate.com. When I was researching shapes for pot holders, I came across it. And they have some adorable pot holders. They've combined, so it's pomegranate.com / I don't know, categories / oven mitts. I think they call them oven mitts. But they've combined one of these with then a flat pot holder. I love their packaging. Oh, and now that I've done all of that, I have to change my foot back. Hang on. That's pretty funny. So send me pictures of what you're working. Becca Clash, she has been going strong. I saw she put up 2 new floss tubes. And Anne, it was nice to see you weigh in that you like the Kaffe. I'd love to see what you're working on. Okay, now I'm going down to 2.0. Very pretty. See how it bent like that? That is just fine for what we're doing. If I didn't want it to bend, I would sew the other way and I would figure that out. But for what we're doing, all I'm doing is I'm going to embed this. Question is where? Where did I do this? Okay, near the thumb. Okay. Give ourselves a good little pin. Now we'll switch it back quickly. $8D. Oh, that Hurricane Dorian was just so slow moving this whole week. Back. And I didn't tell it to change. So, isn't that interesting? 8. It will, this machine will tell me if I'm going to use a foot that won't accommodate, let's say, a zigzag, right? It will stop me, but this one must have worked. But now, okay, now we're up to a bigger stitch. Oh, and it just moves like butter, I tell you. Oh, and then I want my needle down. I've got the machine set so that when the needle is down, it hovers when I stop. And on this, that helps so I can reposition my fabric. Okay. Oh, this is a perfect example of a night when I'm glad we have Fibercast, because I wouldn't keep going on these. It was slow today to make all of this quilted fabric. You know, I had to, and I still am not loving this part, the sewing under of the edging. I'm not 100% pleased with it yet. So, truth be told, if we didn't have Fibercast, I would have called it a night. But instead, here we go. And we'll see what we can get done in 60 minutes, and we will feel good about it. I just saw that Bob had his cement mixer delivered just before I came on live here. So I'm not quite sure what he's going to use that for, but it's back. Okay, so I've at least got those pinned. And I think what I'm going to do is, oh, and here's our loop, it's all sewn in. I think I might toy with hand sewing that shut. So instead of working on that, I'm going to do the rest of my sewing. Okay. I'm just using I wouldn't say a scant 1/4 of an inch, but a 1/4 of an inch. And then, like I say, because there are 10 layers here, I have, on that one, I did gradate the trimming. I'll show you what I mean by that. I don't even know if it's a thing, but it seemed to work well. And I try to improve the curve if I need to. And now I'm down in an area that I've already sewn once. And it's so thick I'm not using the cutter. Okay, so believe we've been doing this for 6.5 years and we've never made a mitted pot holder. Goes to show you, you can always find something new to do. So it's rough around here, for example. So I'm cutting away the first couple of layers. I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, I can cut this off. Excuse me, everyone. So I made contact with Google. Oh, I need to tell everyone this. So I still haven't fixed my streaming issue on YouTube. Surprise, surprise. But I did make contact with a human being whose name is Love. And we started chatting about the problem with my encoder software. And then we didn't get, I needed help. I needed the person, Love, to see my screen, see what I was experiencing, because I think I'm not seeing some things. I don't know what the setting is, but it's like I'm not seeing choices to go live or to tell YouTube to look at my encoder software, something, and I'm sure it's user error. Anyway, we got to a point where I needed to share my screen. Well, they don't do that. So we had to switch our conversation from chat to email. See how I don't know if you can see that, but I'm trimming it. I'm almost sculpting these 10 layers so that it's rounded, so that when I am going to clip in here, but I don't clip very much, that's for sure. And I might sew this twice just to reinforce it. So we are in the process of switching our conversation from chat to email, and it's taking us days so that I can send screenshots. They don't have a way to share screens. So that's where we're at. So meanwhile, you may have noticed, for those of you who are watching, I think it's before 8, yes. I wanted to go live with this version before 8 to make sure it works. So I'm only going to go until 8. It's 7:46 right now. And then I'll start another one live, but at least I have this one that we can post so people who can't find us, let's say, can see it. Or I can put it on the Simply Colorful channel. And I'm really sorry about all this technical stuff. It's enough to drive you crazy. And frankly, it makes it hard to be consistent, and I know that. And just like Delta Airlines and all the airlines, I know there's a lot of content and a lot of choices out there, and this is not making it easy for you to choose us. So this is one of the harder parts too of this particular pattern, because my hands are small, so I wanted small mitts for greater dexterity, so I could really hold my things. But that means that turning is a little bit tricky, but it feels good, man. There are 5 layers on each side, and I'll come back and I'll do this part down there by hand. Okay, so there's another one. 2. Let's do one of these. Oh, let me check my email. Again, say hello to Lynn at simplycolorful.com. Oh, the oven mitts are cool. Thank you. Oh, very cool. That was Pam. Pam's out there, and she's around all weekend. Yay! Okay. Karen, hello, Karen. not KB, Karen Delpreet up in the North Shore. Okay, now live on your channel. Yay, it says we're live. It's working. Ah, let's see. Oh, Michelle Banton, hi. Meet the Teachers. We're doing that Monday, September 16th. And what that is we're going to the New England Quilt Museum, and I think I'm going to do this improv t-shirt class. I'm hoping there are some guilds out there that might want to do that. Okay, so these, aren't those cool? I'm gonna put right sides together. Oh, so I probably started saying this. Next week we'll go back to t-shirt quilts, and next week we'll have our guest. So if you want to make t-shirt quilts, grab a bunch of them. It can be anything from, say, 12 to 25. And get yourself some interfacing. And that's not the hardest, but that's the most time intensive, is pressing your t-shirts onto the interfacing. And then you can square them up. You can turn them into hexagons. I was not very creative here. I kept them pretty much square, and then I filled in really as I went. So it's Jean Birchman at Cider Mill Quilts who makes professional t-shirt quilts. They're lovely. She has a grid system. She keeps it on the 4-inch system, and I can't say that I was disciplined enough. So what I mean by that is everything on her t-shirt quilt, her blocks, so she would make in 4-inch increments. So it was either 4, 8, I think this is my understanding, 4, 8, 16, 20, 24. And then once she would get, you could put 4 different t-shirts together and put some filler blocks, and then it might be 24 by 24 or 16 by 16, but it would be on that 4-inch grid. And then she'd put them all together, and then she would use partial seams and other blocks to get it all together. So it looks great. This one has some issues with the quilting. I don't know what we should do here. Actually, I do know what we should do. I'm going to take it out, and then I'm going to use this machine to quilt. It's just puckered. I don't want it puckered. Okay. This is not good pod, is it? Unsewing. Okay, that lengthens that out. Now what I need to do is not cut this thread, but pull it back so I can tie a knot and bury it. How does that sound? Okay. Again, these are oven mitts. They are going to get grimy, dirty. There should be a rule that anytime you put a new oven mitt into your kitchen, you have to throw one out. So I'm just going to bury the ends here. football season is upon us. And some good NASCAR this weekend. I can't wait to watch. Who watched Darlington was it Saturday night? With the rain? OMG. They didn't get started until after 10 p.m. The race was going to be late anyway. It was going to start at 6:30. But with all the rain coming up, they were delayed many hours. And I tried to stay up because I knew, I mean, you get those drivers who have been putting it off all day. I think it was supposed to start at 6, maybe even earlier. I don't remember that part. But anyway, they raced past midnight, I think even past 1. And what I ended up doing, I fell asleep. I recorded it and I got up early, like at 6 a.m., and I watched it. And it was wonderful. Because you can imagine the type of driving that occurs when it's 1:30 in the morning. I don't care how professional or or how experienced. Okay, so I'm going to cut this off and make my tie with it. What did I do? I guess I cut that in half, right? Oh, so the beginning of the week, I did the t-shirt quilt. Today I did these, and in the middle of the week, I went out to Brimfield to the Antique Mart. Sarah and I drove out and we stayed at Pat's overnight. Thank you, Pat, for the hospitality. And it was a lovely day. And Pat Hinga does beading, and she made me this really cool bracelet. It is quilt squares. And then they're layered on top of each other and they have snaps. So now if you put the snaps right here, 2 of them, and my wrists are big, she made it big as a prototype for me to try, and I love it. So that was exciting. So we went to Brimfield. We had a delicious, so much better than a delicious gyro, which was so much better than I had at the fair this summer down on the vineyard. So I'm back onto loving gyros. It was a beef one. Yum. Okay, just have to switch my feet here. I probably technically don't have to, but I'm doing it. 9. Okay. Oop. Got myself stuck. Oh. As well put my dual feed down, that's why. I love this Kaffe Fabric, but boy does it fray. So next week we'll do t-shirt quilts here in the studio, and we will have a guest. Let me know if you have any questions about t-shirt quilts. I think most folks who watch Fibercast have already done t-shirt quilts. I'm kind of late to the party. And this all came about because I was cleaning out my closet. So it's, oh, and Bob did, and his father did give me a couple of shirts. So that was great, that I didn't have, that I had worn out. Like the one Shy's Brigade, the pink one. So I made ourselves a little hanger. Now, go back here. I should be able to get this one. Oh, no, I guess I won't. Okay, I'm gonna put on my denim foot, and I'm going to bid everyone adieu. Thank you for watching the first half of Fibercast. I'm going to say goodbye, then reset up YouTube and turn you back on. So grab your project, go get something to drink, something to eat, and I'll see you back here in 2 minutes. Bye. I have to put my glasses on. Okay. Does anyone remember how I turn it off? Hi, everyone.